The first thing the judge said to me wasn't my name. It wasn't the charge. It wasn't even a question. He leaned forward, squinted like I was something stuck to his shoe, and muttered, "Another waste of space clogging up my courtroom." The room went quiet, that thick, familiar silence where nobody wants to be the first to react. I remember thinking, wow, he really thinks I'm already done. And in that moment, standing there alone, 19 years old, no expensive lawyer at my side, no family in the gallery, I realized something strange. He had no idea who he was talking to, not even close. My name, at least the one on the file, was Lena Harris. Disorderly conduct, resisting arrest. A nothing case, the kind that usually gets pushed through in 5 minutes before lunch. To him, I was just another poor black girl who couldn't afford a real attorney, another face he wouldn't remember by the end of the day. He tapped his pen, already bored, already convinced he knew how my story went. You know the type. Grew up wrong, raised wrong, probably lying. He didn't say all that out loud at first, but he didn't have to. His eyes did it for him. The courthouse itself backed him up. Old stone building built over a century ago with cracked floors and portraits of past judges lining the walls, all white men staring down like guardians of a tradition that never included people like me. Out front, there was still a statue nobody wanted to talk about anymore, the kind they call history when it hurts the right people. Inside, justice moved fast. 4 minutes per case. Next, 4 minutes. Next, no time for explanations, no patience for context. Just process and move on. Judge Malcolm Reed had been running Courtroom 6 like that for over 30 years. They called him the Blade, not because he was tough, but because he cut clean and without emotion. His record told the story everyone pretended not to see. Black defendants got jail time. White defendants got lectures. A black single mom missed fines, she lost her freedom. A white college kid with drugs got a second chance and a smile. Same charges, different outcomes. Complaint after complaint had been filed over the years, all dismissed, all buried. Reed played golf with the district attorney. His wife chaired charity galas with the police chief's spouse. Touch him, and the whole network woke up angry. So, nobody touched him. That's why I was there. What he didn't notice was how straight I stood. Most people in that spot curl inward, trying to disappear. I didn't. My eyes moved slowly, counting cameras, noting where the court reporter sat, tracking who entered and who left. The thin folder I carried wasn't stuffed with panic papers, it was organized, tabbed, precise. Blue, red, yellow, black. Everything had a place. Because Lena Harris wasn't my real name. My real name was Naomi Carter, and I had spent 5 years getting ready for that morning. In the third row of the gallery sat a woman in a gray blazer pretending to read. Dr. Ellen Price. Judicial Conduct Investigator. We hadn't made eye contact once on purpose. Somewhere else in the building was Marcus Doyle, a civil rights attorney who had mentored me since I was a teenager, the man I trusted more than anyone. Or at least I thought I did. 12 hours earlier, he'd left a voicemail warning Judge Reed that someone might be asking questions. He didn't know I'd heard it. He didn't know what that betrayal cost him. Before I tell you how the judge fell, you need to know who stood behind me, even if they weren't in the room. Jamal Turner. 17 years old. Straight A student. Full scholarship offer waiting in his mailbox. Stopped by police because he matched a description. Bail denied. 40 days in adult lockup before the real suspect was arrested in another state. Charges dropped. Scholarship gone. Future gone. He works nights in a warehouse now. His mom still keeps that acceptance letter framed like it might come back to life. Ruth Coleman. Church volunteer. Grandma raising her daughter's kids. One broken taillight. Asked why she was being stopped. Labeled aggressive. 30 days in jail. Lost her job, her apartment, her grandchildren. The youngest still asks why Grandma didn't come home. She didn't leave. The system took her away. And then there was my brother Isaiah Carter, pre-law student, first in our family, accused by a classmate. Her story changed. His alibi was airtight. Witnesses, video, everything. Judge Reed refused to hear it, sentenced him anyway. 3 years later, the truth came out. Isaiah walked free on paper and broken in every other way. Panic attacks, nightmares, a mind that never quite came back. I was 15 when I watched that judge look through him like he wasn't human. I didn't know the judge's name then. I just remembered his voice. 5 years of research followed. Patterns across hundreds of cases. Sealed records. Quiet conversations with families nobody believed. When the oversight board needed someone, Judge Reed would underestimate completely they came to me. Young, black, alone, invisible, perfect. That morning I dressed exactly how he expected. Plain blouse, faded shoes, no makeup, no jewelry. I taped the recorder under my collarbone and whispered, "For Isaiah." Outside, black families sat together tense and quiet. White attorneys joked and laughed. Same building, different realities. My court-appointed defender told me to keep my mouth shut. Don't provoke him. I nodded. He didn't know provoking Reed was the whole point. Case after case. I watched the pattern repeat. A black man stealing groceries got months. A white kid stealing electronics got community service and encouragement. The evidence stacked up, but numbers weren't enough. I needed his words. Clear. On the record. When my case was called, Reed barely looked at me. "Let me guess," he said, smirking, "you didn't do it." I asked to present evidence. Calm. Polite. That was all it took. He laughed. Mocked my clothes, my education, my family. He ripped my witness statements in half and let them fall like trash. Then he went further, talking about your people, about laziness, about crime, about how the system had been too kind. The courtroom froze. Somewhere behind me, Marcus Doyle walked in and recognized me instantly. He stayed silent. I let the judge talk. Every word tightened the noose. When he called a recess, I had enough. In the hallway, Marcus grabbed my arm. Confusion, fear, guilt all over his face. I told him I'd heard the voicemail. He didn't deny it. Friendship, he said. History. He thought he could change Reed quietly. I gave him a choice. Warn him now, or don't. Marcus chose silence. During the break, my phone buzzed. Hospital number. Isaiah had a bad night. For a second, my feet turned toward the exit. Then I remembered Jamal, Ruth, all the others. I stayed. When Judge Reed returned, confident and relaxed, I told him I had a confession. He smiled. Finally, he thought. I told him my real name, told him about my brother. He called it revenge. That's when I showed my badge. Judicial Oversight Field Inspector. Authorization confirmed. I played the recording. His voice filled the room. Raw, undeniable. The laughter died. The air changed. Then I opened the black tab. His past. His son. A drunk driving crash decades ago. 2 victims. A soft sentence from a friend on the bench. No jail. That was the moment something broke in him. Every defendant after that wasn't a person. They were punishment. Guilt redirected. Dr. Price stood. Judge Reed was suspended on the spot. Officers escorted him away. He told me I ruined his life. I told him the truth. He did that himself. I just made sure someone was watching. The courtroom exploded with sound. People stood, cried, came forward, hands on my shoulders, thank you after thank you. I cried too, for the first time that day really cried. 5 years of anger and grief finally breathing out. Marcus apologized. I didn't forgive him, but I acknowledged his choice. Months later, cases reopened. Laws debated. Careers ended. Futures slowly rebuilt. Isaiah started talking again, laughing sometimes. The day he called me after seeing the news, his voice sounded steady. "You didn't just do this for me," he said. "You did it for people who never get believed. I still do this work. Different courthouse, different judge, same patterns. Sometimes Isaiah comes with me now. We sit in the back watching, because power only survives in the dark. So here's my question for you. How many Judge Reads are still out there because nobody's watching? How many lives get written off because someone decides a story before hearing it? If you've ever seen something like this, lived it, or stayed silent about it, say something. Comment. Argue, disagree. Because justice doesn't move on its own. People have to push it, and the next person they underestimate might be the one who brings it all down.